was just kind of like a lot of stuff.
Yeah. We could transition over to At Land. One thing that is going on with both of these movies is she's got some kind of art world collaborators with big
Mm.
names on each. Witch's Cradle being Marcel Duchamp, and At Land having some involvement with John Cage.
John Cage. I definitely know the name John Cage. I did not do enough reading, clearly.
John Cage, I mean, he is a classical composer, but he does some kind of like avant-garde kind of stuff.
Mm.
Most famously, 433, which is
Oh,
yeah,
that thing.
which is somebody going up to a piano and sitting there not playing it for 4 minutes and 33
Yeah.
seconds. Which I think is based. I love it.
Yeah. You're a big fan of 433?
I am. I
I've never seen it performed, so I don't. Who's to
you know,
say what I really think of it?
here's the
Because
thing,
I
I've
don't. It
never seen
doesn't
it
count.
performed either, and I really feel like I should, because
Mm. Yeah.
the whole thing with it is like all of the ambient noise of the room becomes the performance, right?
Mm. Marcel Duchamp is also a composer. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he made art in galleries and stuff. Marcel Duchamp did the urinal that is like he put the urinal down and flipped it sideways and called it art, and then people were like, oh no, how could you?" Um,
I mean, that rules.
which I also think is based.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
but yeah, a complete side note, but like 433, right? John Cage's 433. I thought I was so slick because I set so on Tinder you can set like an anthem for yourself. It's just like another thing that you can put on your profile. A lot of
You
people
made yours 433.
I made mine 433. You could pick one song that just kind of shows up on your profile, and it's a conversation
Oh,
starter. And I
I mean,
was
that's a
just like,
conversation starter if ever there was one.
it took a lot of doing to make it work. Like I had to search in some weird ways to make it
Yeah.
to be able to find
That
it.
is
But
that I love the degree to which you are like shit posting on Tinder.
oh, you
That's
simply
incredible.
must. You simply
Yeah.
must. Atland is her other more finished work from
Mhm.
44. Um, Definitely going along with the dreamy kind of stuff as established in Meshes of the Afternoon. This feels like it's kind of going with some different. This is going for some different motifs. I feel like it feels a
Mhm.
little less scary, a little less aggressive.
Yeah,
Uh,
less threatening. There's some threatening stuff in it a little bit, but yeah, overall it is a nicer feeling movie
yeah,
than
not that it's like specifically nice,
Meshes.
but it's like it.
Yeah, but I mean it's there's no like mirror faced presence that's like following you around in this one.
Yeah, yeah. This one I think is doing some kind of interesting stuff with like melding space together. Like there's like a point where
Mm,
it starts
yeah,
off with her on a beach and like she is kind of climbing on top of this piece of wood, and as she climbs onto this piece of wood, she's like entering a different reality, like with matched movements, where she's
yeah.
like pulling herself up onto a table of a bunch of business guys. uh
That happens a couple times in this one, and it that to me feels like a very like distinctly dreamlike thing of like
mhm.
moving between different kind of spaces without there being a real transition point, like not entering through a door, or it's just
Yeah.
like this thing of like, yeah, I was on a beach and then I like climbed the tree and then like from the tree I somehow got climbed onto a business meeting table, like, but the tree wasn't connected to anything else. It was just like it just kind of happened. That
Yeah,
feels very dreamlike to me.
I know that the MO of a lot of like classic surrealists is to kind of unlock this dreamy, unconscious kind of thing. I don't know if she was really going for a specific, like, I'm going to make a movie that feels like dreams, but
Mm,
definitely there's a lot of the specificity of the way that dreams work that is captured in her
yeah.
movies. In
Also,
the same
speaking
way
of
that like I felt disappointed when I saw Inception because I'm like, this isn't how dreams work.
Speaking of Inception, the opening shots of this movie of Atland are almost identical to the opening shots of Inception.
Oh wow.
Like
So he has seen movies that depict
yeah,
dreams better.
both start with like slow motion waves crashing and then someone waking up on the beach. And it's even like I gotta go back to Inception and maybe check the framing, but it seemed like even the framing was like fairly similar.
Hmm.
I have no idea if this movie was a direct influence on Inception or not. It very well could have been, but yeah, that immediately stuck out to me. I mean, good taste, Chris Nolan.
This definitely, I feel like the biggest motif in this is chess.
Yeah, a lot of chess stuff.
There's like different chess games, and they're being played in different contexts, and I think that like gives them a different feeling. Like,
Hmm.
there is the first chess game that you see is at that table full of these businessmen or something, and
Yeah, and
like
they're all like there's like smoke hanging in the air from all of their cigarettes, and it's like that scene looks really cool. I think it's like dark office room. It's kind of you can't really entirely tell like what kind of room you're in, but there's like really high ceiling and like the smoke wafting up, and they're all kind of all these people are just like along the two sides of the table as Maya Deren is like crawling along the table. Um, yeah, I don't know, that scene was just very striking to me.
yeah, and it feels like there's some there's been some kind of I don't know if I like always 100% like fully read like a specific feminist angle to the stuff,
Hmm.
but like there is some kind of juxtaposition between the chessboard with the men,
Hmm.
and there's a later chessboard with women. um and like the scene has a very different vibe to it. It starts off with like almost, you know this movie isn't so threatening like Meshes of the Afternoon, but it is it's eerie at times.
Yeah,
And that chess thing almost feels like a break with when you see the women playing the chess on the beach, and then it feels like, oh, it's chill for a second, and then they start getting like happier and happier and happier, and it's like they're playing chess in this state of extreme ecstasy, and they're like, okay, this is scary again.
it's getting threatening again. Yeah, I also definitely picked up on this movie playing with a little bit more ideas of like what does gender even mean, man? Like a little that maybe is reductive way of putting it, but like I do feel like there was more of a sense of like how like male characters and female characters are being framed and kind of
Hmm.
portrayed in this one,
Hmm.
as opposed to well, I mean, as opposed to Mansions of the Afternoon, which only has what three characters: a man, a woman, and a ghost. So it's like there's not a whole lot to like play around with.
It's a classic
As opposed to
story:
this,
a man, a woman, and a
yeah,
ghost.
the Holy Trinity, yeah. Um, so yeah, I do feel like much like Mansions in the Afternoon, I'm not even really gonna attempt to try to like unpack what this movie is trying to say because like one, I don't necessarily know if that is 100% the intent of it. I think there are meanings behind all of the imagery in this, much like in Masters of the Afternoon, but I don't think it matters if whatever my impression of that
Hmm.
is, if that's the same as what my Darren's like intent was. Like I think it's much more of a like, here's the thing I made, like make of it like any work of sort of like impressionistic art. I think
Hmm.
it's less about like it having a like very specific meaning. Um, and maybe that's
Yeah.
just me being lazy and not wanting to analyze it further. But you decide.
There was a I thought that like maybe the most striking image in this to me was the white king chess piece floating down the river.
Mm,
Something about that felt like really kind of interesting, as far as just this like machined or like carved object that is so unnatural, like moving
mm,
through like kind of chaotically moving through like a babbling brook, or like a somewhat chaotic
mhm.
waterfall or something. uh I don't know what it means, but it
I
was
mean,
kind of
also, I will
cool.
say when that happened, when the chess piece like falls into the water, I was like, "Oh no!" I felt so bad. I felt so like such a sense of like, "No, it fell." Which again, like Missions of the Afternoon, it is not intended to have a soundtrack over it, or at least didn't initially. Um, so it's like it's just silent imagery coming at me, and I still felt this sense of like, no, the chess piece, don't let it float away. Like there's kind of a I don't know, just there's something primal to that a little bit, I think.
Hmm.